The angels now instruct Lot to flee the city with his family because the city is to be punished. But they should, during the flight, do not look back. From the Torah we learn how Lot is still discussing with the place to which he should flee. The Torah then reports of a rain of sulfur and fire, and in the Quran we find rain and stones or clay and a sandstorm. Lot's family escapes except for his wife. The Torah reports that she looks back and freezes into a pillar of salt. According to the Quran, Lot has already been announced in advance that he will lose his wife because she looks back. Only in the Torah it is reported that Lot's 2 daughters, due to lack of men in the near area, made their father drunk and fathered their children with him, Ben-Ami and Moab. Now the exciting question arises: how do Muslims and Christians deal with these stories? For Muslims, Lot is a righteous prophet like Muhammad. Muhammad and Lot warned about the court. They are accused of lying and threatened. It is often taught, then as now, people live out their homosexuality, and just like then, judgment will come for people today. The incest account in the Torah is criticized by many Muslims. Descriptions of the wrongdoing of other prophets in the Bible, such as David's adultery, are also criticized. That the righteous prophet Lot says, an attempt is then made to interpret it differently. For example, some commentators explain that he may have offered other daughters, and then only for official weddings. In the New Testament, Peter described Lot as a righteous person who suffered the sins of the inhabitants of the city. For Christians, Lot's behavior is also strange, but they are used to men and women being openly portrayed in the Bible with their wrongdoing without taking it as an example. When the subject of homosexuality is preached, the example of Sodom and Gomorrah is sometimes used as a comparison. When Jesus, the Messiah, teaches in the Injil about Sodom, he warns all people.